Was Windows 2000 really that good? Let's find out. This video is the successor to, was Windows 95 really that good? Please check out that video if you have not seen it, it's really cool. We go over several things that are good and bad about the so-called good-bad releases of Windows, so the next huge hit, which would not come for about 5 years later, was Windows 2000. Windows 2000 was a major shift away from the outdated 9X kernel, the first business version and the last to be sold separately, as Windows XP, released in October 2001, would combine both business and consumer editions into the one version of Windows, which would be a feature that would live on forevermore. It is present in Windows 11. However, 2000 was a massive success with the business market, praised for its overall stability, large scalability, which meant it could be used on large networks. It was the best version the IT industry had seen at the time, only being comparable to Windows NT 4.0, released in 1996, a year after Windows 95, and it was the first true business-oriented edition. However, 2000 was more popular due to a slightly improved and more user-friendly interface, and the vast array of new features mentioned earlier. Windows 2000 was also one of the first editions to truly support plug-and-play, and it was the very first to introduce USB support, FireWire support, and so on and so forth, so it was quite revolutionary for its time. However, being a business-only system meant that consumers could not have access to that same level of reliability, stability, or the new improvements and new features. Home users had to wait till the release of Windows ME, Millennium Edition, but that was not very well received. In fact, it went down in history as one of the worst and most hated versions of Windows, but XP, released a year later, was a massive success and much adored. In fact, it was one of the most popular versions ever, only comparable to Windows 10, which is now the most popular version of Windows, and the most widely used, but Windows 2000 was also widely popular and incredibly successful. It got 10 years of full-on support, 5 of which was the mainstream support, which ended in July of 2005, and extended support for Windows 2000 ended on July 13, 2010, outliving its consumer-based counterpart, Windows Millennium Edition, by about 4 years. So, was Windows 2000 really that good, or bad? It was probably one of the best releases to date, because of how great it was for its time, far superior to the 9X releases of Windows. However, the big downside is that only businesses back in the day could use it. Home users were excluded from having the far more stable NT kernel, and instead were served a pile of shit that was nothing more than a massive failure and a mistake edition, although I personally think that Windows ME was overwhelmingly criticized and hated. The next episode will look at Windows XP, the successor to both Windows 2000 and Windows ME. XP would go on to be one of the most loved and adored versions of Windows, also being revolutionary in many ways, but was it really as good as we thought? Stay tuned to find out. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next video. Bye for now.